Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Ray. Welcome to the game of life. How is everybody? This is a powerful moment, I feel. There's a lot happening and a lot of integration, a lot of shifts, a lot of clarity and awareness coming in. I'm feeling the need to slow down and really drink it all in. There's a lot of imagery, there's a lot of inspiration, creativity, ideas, but so much coming in. It's how do we assemble it all, put it all together, make sense of it, and then translate that into our physical reality. So I'm not rushing this process, but I did feel like connecting today and sharing a little manifestation trick, clarity, a way that we can engage playfully in consciousness as the powerful co-creators we can choose to be. So before I dive into it, I just want to say that there's a session on Friday for anybody who's in the Lighthouse app following the Alchemy of Stress or any of the other courses. It's a chance to engage live, to receive healing, to ask questions. And I will also be posting a couple more live sessions in the Buy Me a Coffee shop link, but that's for next week, for the 14th of July, because I'm really following my inner prompt, my inner guidance to take it slow this week. There's a recalibration and integration and a need to create a little bit more space for everything to come in and to fall into place as it should, all in divine timing. But yeah, what I wanted to share with you today was a playful, creative way to engage with imagination, the power of the spoken words, and using the mind as a powerful tool. Very often the mind is in its autopilot state, so many thoughts, so creative no matter what those thoughts are, and it's using the mind intentionally. And what came through, and it's really about stepping into your master manifester, your conscious co-creator, your magician, if you're that way inclined, mystically, magically. I love all that. And I can really feel the creativity flowing when I engage in that way, which is more playfully. And what came through very clearly, engaging playfully in this way, intentionally creating and calling into existence. And it's using the mind as a magic wand, okay? And I'm very visual. I work very visually, and I'm getting a lot more imagery coming in more recently, very powerful imagery, whether it's an awareness, whether it's an inspiration, whether it's clarity, and I'm working with that. But it's also how I like to create. I like to visualize, and there's nothing new about that in terms of manifestation and co-creation. But it's understanding how powerful your mind is when we engage in that way consciously, and your mind is the magic wand. And you can visualize it as such. You know, we all know what a magic wand looks like. And it's that very defined, focused, laser focus of your mind. And there's a bit of mastery in that. Unless you're, a very naturally imaginative, playful, creative person who's still very connected to your inner child. But this is interesting because what we're doing when we're using the mind as a magic wand with that laser focus and giving it a little, bringing in the magic, we're present, we're focused, we're very much consciously connecting with what it is we feel called to create, experience in life. That's a unique experience, it's a unique expression. And depending on where you are in your journey and who you are and what it is that lights you up, that expression will be very different from person to person. So it's connecting with that. And yes, there's a certain mastery if you're not naturally inclined to use your mind intentionally to the full potential it holds actually. But very often our mind is on autopilot, and so many thoughts that are crowding in there, and it takes a little practice. But this is a way to engage more playfully, understanding that your mind is the magic wand and you can play with it, use it, engage with it as such. Okay? And yes, if you're already very connected to your inner child and that playful creativity and your imagination, there's less mastery because that's your natural state, and lucky you. I've had to work at it, I really have. But it's reconnecting with that magic I've felt as a child. And no matter what it is you wish to experience and to create, it's engaging in that way and understanding that the mind holds magic. There is magic everywhere, but it's how we choose to engage with it and the potentials we choose to explore, using the mind as a tool of creativity, of manifestation. The mind as a magic wand, and being in your magician state, the magician, co-creator, the master manifester, or the playful inner child, using your imagination. And the other thing I wanted to bring in was the power of words, the spoken words. And again, you can use your thoughts in a very powerful way as well, whether it's an affirmation or an intention or a statement, in your power. In that way, and we talked about this in one of the live sessions last week, how we, in presence and very much using our presence intentionally in terms of what we're creating and how we're engaging consciously with consciousness with different frequencies. We can use our thoughts, but also the power of our voice. Our voice is how we express ourselves uniquely and how we give directive to our life experience. And it's engaging consciously, and the directive goes out there into the universe, consciousness, and it's that energetic Lego of the mind, those particles dancing in and out, popping in and out of existence, that are ready to respond to you, to create and to bring into existence the 3D. And so whatever we say has power, and it's an awareness of that power as we create, as we speak things into existence. One of the things that I use with more and more awareness is how I speak things into being. Communicating with my body, for example, my health, my well-being. One of the powerful affirmations, and it's a directive, and if we're following on from the mind as a magic wand, our words are like spells, spells. There's a bit of witchery in that, if you like, if you're so inclined, but it's the magic in the spoken word, the power to create in the spoken word. Our words are powerful because our presence is powerful, and it's using that power in a very intentional way. And so the directive I give my body anytime I feel the slight onset of a cold or any twinge in my body that would signal there's an imbalance in my health in any way, I state very clearly, every cell in my body vibrates with perfect health. And I'm there in presence, and there's no forcing that. It's a pure statement of truth. And there is the power, and there is the intention, and there is the creativity in consciousness. So it's being very aware of how we use our words, how we use our mind, and the magic that both contain as powerful tools of creation. And then, the world opens up as you create it with what you say, with what you think. But there's a more playful way of engaging in that way as we reconnect with the magic of our words, of our presence, of our mind as a magic wand. And we can then go and explore with that creativity, be curious. And again, depending on where you are in your journey, it may take a little bit more practice, a little bit more mastery as we bring the mind back into focus from its stress states, from its distractions, from its patterns. And there is the healing journey that we can weave into that experience, but also use the mind, the magic wand, and our words, powerful creative frequencies of creativity. And we can use those very much in our healing journey, a way to communicate with the cells of our being and to shift our reality in very powerful and magical ways. So I thought I'd share that with you today as another manifestation, creation tool, which is coming much, much more clearly for me. And that idea of your mind as the magic wand was a really nice one, I thought. And so I'm sharing it with you so you can go and play in the game of life and the life that you're creating. And again, no matter where you are, whether it's a more challenging experience in healing emotionally, mentally, physically, or understanding your path, because again, each of our experiences is unique. Okay, and it's really engaging consciously in a way that brings meaning to your life experience, and understanding the power of your creativity, the power of your mind, the power of your words, the power of your presence. Okay, so thank you as always for being here and for engaging in this space, and for leaving your comments, for hitting the like button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next post.